Hello, Mr. President. Welcome to Greece. It is a great honor for me and for us at Huffington Post having you with us and having this interview with you. So, 2 years to go to the Tokyo 2020 Summer Paralympics Games. At what stage are the preparations?
It's my pleasure being here, being in Greece again. The Tokyo Games will be fantastic, no doubt. The preparations are, I would say, after Rio, everything looks very easy.
Really?
But yes, Rio was very tough for the Paralympic movement. The preparations for the games at the final stages were a little bit challenging. But Tokyo will be fantastic. There's a lot of enthusiasm from the private sector, from the levels of government. The organizing committee is very committed to both Olympics and the Paralympics, and the population is engaged. So I think we will have amazing games there. I don't see any major problem on the horizon. So I'm super confident and excited.
How do you feel about the opening ceremony?
I think it will be fantastic. We don't know much details about it
really?
yet.
You don't?
Personally, they try to surprise us normally, but I think the concept will be a mix of the traditional Japanese culture, which is amazing, with technology, so high-end technology. So this is what Japan is about, the technology, the science, and so. But at the same time,
in their culture, the technology.
It's in their blood, in their veins.
Exactly.
But at the same time, the traditional values of Japan, like they have this thing that they call motenashi, which is hospitality, but it's more than that. It's a state of mind of welcoming people. It will be fantastic.
If I ask you to share the best moments, highlights of Pyeongchang 2018 Paralympics Winter Games, what would that be?
Well, first of all, it was my first Paralympic Games as president of the International Paralympic Committee, so it was a fantastic experience. Just when I was giving the opening ceremony speech and to feel that energy of the people, of the Korean people, was fantastic. I think my best memory was to see a lot of kids in the venue, so cheering sometimes for Korean athletes, sometimes for athletes of different countries. So I was there in a para-ice hockey match, and I was with a group of kids coming from different schools.
Really?
Yeah, so I watched one of the periods with them, and they were enthusiastic about the experience, the game. They said, wow, this is real sport. And they were saying things like, I didn't know that athletes with disability could compete at that level, and it was amazing. So when you see kids 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, making comments like that, you realize that you are achieving what you want to achieve with the games. From a sport perspective, I think it was the victory of the Kazakhstani athlete in the cross country, who was fourth, I would say 5 seconds before the finish line in a cross country event, and he zoomed and he passed 3 athletes and won the gold medal, the first ever for Kazakhstan. So it was amazing.
What are your goals for this incredible Paralympics committee?
Yes, one of them, and because I come from a developing country, so my idea is to support every single nation, every single national Paralympic committee to get to their next level in terms of development and in terms of services that they can provide to the athletes.
And you do travel a lot?
I travel a lot. I have a very busy schedule. And exactly because of that, trying to go to different nations, understand the challenges that they have, building some bridges for them, going to the ministers of sports, prime ministers, presidents, trying to create some more opportunities for them, trying to make them work together. Sometimes you have 3, 4 neighborhood nations and they don't have very good contact, so we try to do them. And one thing that we will see more and more is the International Paralympic Committee playing a bigger role in the human rights movement. I think the Paralympic Games got to a point where we are the biggest sport event in the world for societal change, for promoting inclusion and diversity. So we will do more in that area. We are already establishing a strategy for that. We are talking to more people, UN agencies, different organizations, because we want to, through sport, do more. As Greece is doing, by the way, with the Refugee Program that the Hellenic Paralympic Committee is running here in the country, which is an example to the world.
You were elected in 2017.
Exactly.
As the third president of the committee, and you won the vote from the first round. Does the weight of the acceptance add additional responsibility on your shoulder? I think.
In a way, yes,
and you must be very proud of
I was very proud
yeah.
Because when I joined the Paralympic movement 21 years ago, I was only 20 years old. I was a journalism student by then.
Really?
Yes, I joined the Brazilian Paralympic Committee in the communication department. So, so we are colleagues.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it gives me puts additional pressure on my shoulders. But at the same time, I think it's because my proposals, my manifesto, resonated with the members. They thought, wow, this is what we want to achieve. And this is the guy who is proposing to move to the direction that we want the IPC to move. So that's why I think we have a very good number of votes in the first round. I thought that it was possible to win in the first round, but I thought it was difficult to happen. But at the end, I think I made a good campaign. The people thought, well, if he did that in his own country, because I think my track record was also something that people really liked about it. Say, well, if he did that in Brazil, a developing nation, he can help us to get there as well.
Mm-hmm. And what are your key priorities going forward?
My key priority is to strengthen the different nations, the different national Paralympic committees. So I'm not talking only the top 25 countries in the world. That's why I'm traveling a lot. I'm talking about countries in Africa, in the Caribbean, in the Pacific, in Latin America. Try to help because there is so much potential there, and the organizations are they are not strong, and we need stronger members. In Africa, for example, we have a lot of persons with an impairment. They are not in sport yet, and one of the things that we want to do is the first ever African Para Games, and we are working with some different countries in Africa to host these games in the near future. So it's something we would like to announce it very soon. Let's see until the end of this year if we can announce the date and where these games are going to take place. But also in different parts of the world, in Asia. So this is my priority: work with the nations and help them to provide better services to their athletes and to strengthen them. But also, as I said, help to change the world, which is a very ambitious target. I know but it's
it's a great vision.
I wake up every day, I look at the mirror and I say, what I will do today, I will help change the world. So my way of doing it is through the Paralympic movement. So if I can do that, if I can use or help to promote diversity, inclusion, to people to see persons with a disability in a different way, using sport as a tool, I think this is the ultimate goal of the Paralympic movement. And we will do more on that. We will still be a sport organization. Everything we do is through sport, but we want to play a bigger role in the human rights area.
Are you enjoying your stay in Greece? About Greece? Do you like Greece?
Greece is amazing. I have.
Do you like the food here? People here?
Well, I like the people. I like the food.
We're close to Acropolis. You have Acropolis view and Elkabetus view.
It's an amazing place, an amazing view. But what I like the most about Greece is the people. Normally I say that the Greeks are the Brazilian Europeans and the Brazilians are the Greek South Americans, if I say, because I see similarities in our culture, in the way we in the way we see life, But I have good memories from here. The Athens Games in 2004 were my first games. I joined the Brazilian Paralympic Committee in 1997, 1 year after the Atlanta Games. And during the Sydney Games,
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Okay.
And during the Sydney Games, I had to stay in Brazil. So my first games, really participating, was the Athens 2004. So it's a great experience. I have amazing friends here in this country. The president of the Hellenic Paralympic Committee is now my kumparos, I think is the right word in Greek. I am the godfather of his daughter.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So I have a kind of a Greek family now. But it's because we became friends in this movement. And I have been coming to Greece a few times, and always with very good reasons, the Games. I was elected vice president of the International Paralympic Committee 5 years ago, here in Athens. We are here this weekend to this event about the refugees. It's a refugee program that the Hellenic Paralympic Committee has in accepting and welcoming refugees. And if you think, probably the most marginalized group of people in the world are the refugees with a disability, because it's a double, I would say, it's a double prejudice against them. So if you use sport to welcome them and help them to overcome their disability and the situation of being in a new country, evading, escaping from their original country, because to someone to leave, his or her own country is probably for very strong reasons. And they are doing it, and they are showing it to the world. It's an example. That's what we are doing this weekend. We are bringing other nations to learn with the Hellenic Paralympic Committee. So I think under the leadership of my good friend Georgios Fountoullakis, they are going to the right direction, preparing their own athletes, Greek athletes in many different sports. This summer I went to several World Championships, European Championships, and I met with Greek athletes winning medals in most, if not all of them. And at the same time, organizing such an important project like the Refugee Program, and showing to the world that, of course, we are about high performance, we are about sport, but we can also support and give and help those who are more in need. And who is more in need than refugees in today's world with all the immigration? I know immigration is the hottest, if not the hottest topic in Europe. And I think the Hellenic Paralympic Committee sets a very good example, a very good precedent. I hope that other countries, they learn this weekend and they implement it in their own territories. Even my own country, now with the crisis in Venezuela, we have immigrants coming from Venezuela.
Wish you all the best from my heart.
Thank you.
We are with you. Παρακαλώ πολύ. Tell me in your language. Ευχαριστώ.
Muito obrigado.
Okay, ευχαριστώ, παρακαλώ. Thank you.
And then you say Ginada.
Ginada. Okay, Ginada. Thank you so much. It was a great honor for me having this great discussion with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.